Hi, and welcome to Brett's Corner, where we cover everything small business. From how to start a business, to how to grow your business, to how to keep your books, and ultimately how to position and sell your business, and some things to think about after you've sold your business. If you're a small business owner, or you're thinking of being a small business owner, you're in the right place. My name is Brett Husselball, and I've been a small business owner for over half my career. I started my first small business in 1995. I quickly grew that one to over multi-millions in revenue, and I sold that to a Fortune 500 in 1998. I started my second small business in 2000. I grew that one more slowly to over $1 million in revenue, and I sold that to a multi-billion-dollar corporation in 2014. And now I'm retired. And what I like to do here at the Corner is to share the benefit of my experience with you. So, before we begin, a quick disclaimer. Number one, I'm not an attorney. I will share with you some of the experiences I've had regarding legal issues and what worked for me, but what worked for me may not work for you. If you have specific legal questions, consult an attorney. Number two, I'm not a CPA, nor am I a certified financial planner. But like every business owner, I know my financials, and we'll talk financials, and I'll share with you some of the things that you should know. But if you have specific financial questions or tax questions, consult a professional. Same goes with investment questions. Consult a professional. So, with that out of the way, let's get on to today's video. Hi. Today I'd like to talk about 3 rules of success that I've come to understand in all of my years of owning my own business. Now, I've come to understand these rules largely through reading, associating with success-oriented people, but mostly through my own personal experience. Now, although I will say these rules in my words, you will find these same rules in many books that cover success principles. Now, each of these principles, I'm just going to cover them briefly today. They're worthy of videos on their own, and I'll cover them in depth in other videos. So let's get right to it. Here they are. Number 1, success has a price, and it's not negotiable. So what I mean by that is very straightforward. When you start a small business, be prepared to work harder than you have ever worked in your life. But there's a difference between working for somebody else and working for yourself. But if it means you have something you owe a customer and you have to work the weekend, that's what it means. That's what it takes. So you have to be prepared to do what it takes in order to succeed in your business. In my first business, that business was in my mind 24/7 because there's always some problem you're working on that has to be solved. And it never stops, it never shuts off. Now, does that mean that's what your life will always be like? Well, it depends on you. If you build infrastructure, if you build intrinsic value, if you build a business that can run without you, those are all things that I recommend and cover in depth in other videos, then no. Eventually you'll start to get some of your time back. But in the early days, oh yeah, that's what it takes. Be prepared, and you have to do what it takes to succeed. Success has a price. It's not negotiable. Rule number 2. This one's a little counterintuitive. It's hard for some folks, especially even someone like me. I have a tendency to be cynical. But you have to get your mind around this. Focus your energy on helping others achieve what they want and have faith that you'll get what you want. Put others ahead of you. Seek the win-win. But seek the win of the other party ahead of your win. Just realize or have faith that you'll get your win if you help them get theirs. And who's the other party? Your customers, that's obvious, but also your employees, also your vendors. In your heart, in your mind, in your motivation, you have to get your mind around seeking the win for the other party ahead of yourself. That's very hard for some people. And you must be sincere. People can tell when you're not being sincere. Now, does that mean you won't be successful if you don't do this? Well, that depends on how you define success. There are plenty of examples of business owners who tend to seek the win-lose. They win at the expense of their customers. They win at the expense of their employees. They win at the expense of their vendors. And they still stay in business. So, can you be successful? Depends on how you define success. But I will suggest this to you. If that is your motivation, if that is how you conduct yourself, just realize over time you are building ill will towards yourself and towards your company. And that may come back to bite you when it comes time to sell your company. So, people can always tell when you are profiting at their expense. And so, therefore, it behooves you, it's in your own interest, to seek that attitude and build that attitude. Help others get their win and know that you'll get your win as a result of that. I'll cover that more in depth in other videos, but that's something that you need to build inside of yourself. Put others ahead of yourself. And that brings us to number 3. You usually get what you expect. Not what you hope for, not what you wish for, not what you dream about, what you expect. What do I mean by that? You have to build your belief system in yourself, in your company, so high that it does not even enter your thought that you might lose, that you might fail. Never enters your mind. When I sold my first business, I had personally signed for over 5 times my annual salary in debt. That if my business failed, I owed that debt back. I'd probably still be paying it this day if I had failed in that business. Now, the day I sold, that debt was paid off. And so when that sale document came in over the fax machine, one of my advisors handed it to me and said, "You must feel really relieved." And I thought about it. I didn't feel that. But why? It never entered my mind I'd ever default on that debt. I never thought the company would fail. It never entered my mind. There were a lot of problems along the way, a lot of really close calls, but it never, ever entered my mind that I might fail. You've got to get your belief system that high, because you will be tested. You will face many challenges, and some of them are going to take a lot of ingenuity to figure out how to solve the problem. But if you stay committed and you believe in your heart that you will succeed, you will succeed. If you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're right. It all starts with your belief system. So you have to get yourself to the point where you expect to win, expect to succeed. That's different than wishing. That's different than hoping. That's different than dreaming. I'll cover that in more depth too in another video. So those are the 3 success principles that I have found to be most important in starting, running, selling a small business. So let's recap briefly. Success has a price. It's not negotiable. Be prepared to do what it takes. Focus your energy on helping other people get what they want. Have faith that you'll get what you want. Seek the win-win in all cases, and seek the other party's win ahead of your own. And thirdly, you usually get what you expect. Get your expectations high. I will say this about expectations. Anything you say out loud sets expectations. Sets your own expectations, sets other people's expectations. Never allow yourself to say something out loud about an outcome that you do not want to happen. Things like, I don't know how they can make this work, can't be done. You ever say that out loud? You just admitted it can't be done. If you think you can't, you're right. So be careful what you say. Do not allow yourself to speak of negative outcomes out loud. So that's one piece of advice on getting what you expect. I'll cover the rest of it in another video. If you like the content we're providing here, please follow us. And as always, if you have any questions, please direct those questions to info@brettscorner.com. I'll watch that email address and I'll respond to your emails. I won't respond to comments you leave on the video, so please use the email address if you have any questions or you want me to respond. And as always, thanks for watching.